everyone, welcome back. It's Miss Kate
and Miss Hazel.
Glad you're here. Today we're doing another paper mache project that you know we love. We are making bugs. I have a thing about bugs. I love bugs. This one is not painted yet, but this one is done and ready to go somewhere. I don't know. So I'm going to show you how we did that. First of all, as always, start by protecting your workspace. So I'm using paper that my brother Tom has given us.
Thanks, Tom.
And I'm going to go like this. Okay, here we go. So now this is my workspace. And now I'm going to start building the bug. So I'm taking 2 of these half sheets and I'm going to fold them. And fold them again. This is sort of an interesting one. Now I'm going to fold this in half like this. So now I've got this piece that looks like this. And I'm going to roll it up. Well, not roll it, sort of fold it up. So now I've got this rolled up piece. Oops. And then I need my masking tape. And I think I've told you this before. If you're not really, like you don't really have a lot of time using masking tape, you may want to rip your pieces first. Because it's hard to do with just one hand because you have to hold this piece together. Now I've got 2 free hands. So it's easier, but at least one of those pieces would have been smart of me to do that first. Okay, so now here's the body. Just looks like a rolled up piece of newspaper, but now it's the body of the bug. Then we have this wire. We got it at the hardware store. It's pretty thin, easy, but it also will stay. I don't know what the gauge is because we bought it a long time ago. But I'm going to use this to make the legs. So I'm going to cut off. I'm not even measuring it. That's how long my legs will be. So I'm going to cut 3 of these pieces, if I can. 3 of these pieces. And then I'm going to use those as my legs. I'm using cardboard scissors to cut the wire, but well. Okay, so now I've got my 3 legs, or 6 legs, because it'll be 3 pieces. I also want to add on an antenna, or antennae, because there are 2 of them. And I'm going to use a paintbrush. I want mine to be curly, so I'm putting my thumb right on the back here and twirling the wire around, pulling it off, and now it looks like the end of an antenna.
That's a good trick, Miss Kate.
Yeah, we can do this with you can do this with, if you didn't have wire, you could use pipe cleaners if you had those. Just thought of that. That'd be good. Okay, now I'm going to bend it in half so it'll sort of stand up. And now here comes the fun part. I'm going to add this to sort of the front of the bug. This is the top half. I'm going to add that on. So now he's got some antenna. They're a little wonky, but that makes it sort of fun. My bug is not going to be, it's probably not going to look like an actual bug you would see in nature, because I sort of like that. I like to just make up things, especially bugs, because I find them fascinating. And I'm going to tape just 2 of them together now. Tape that all the way around. These will be his back legs. And I'll tape the one by itself for the front legs. So you can see I just taped those 2 legs together. And now I'm going to tape that whole thing to the bottom of the body. And I'm going to do the same with the front legs. Try and find about where half of it would be. And I'm going to tape that down. And now sort of bend those up a little bit. And now it should be able to stand. Let's see. Oops, not quite. Sad little guy. He doesn't want to stand. Okay, let me see. I can get him to stand. This kind of wants to like hop or something. He'll stand better once we get the paper mache stuff on. Okay, because this is what happened yesterday when I made those other ones. All right, so now, next part. We're going to start we're using paper, the plaster strips again, instead of the flour mixture. I think some of you have done this with us already. So I have them in this container. I'm going to flip it over and use this side for my water. This side I'm going to keep the dry stuff in. So remember when you're doing paper mache, we want to make sure the dry stuff, it goes dry, wet, and then whatever you're using so that you don't drip the wet into your dry before you put it onto your whatever you're making. Okay, so here we go. This one's going to be a little more tricky than other things we've done because I want to keep the wires on the outside. So some of these pieces,
Maybe really skinny strips for that part, Miss Kate?
dun 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 dun, yes, that's what I did. I already cut some pieces smaller just for that. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. I will talk all the way through it. If you get stuck, just reverse, stop it, reverse, go look again. Because I don't want you to have to sit too long because we've done this before and I don't want it to take too long to do. So I'm putting down my first strip around my the antennae. And remember, when you're using these plaster strips, you want to make sure that you really smooth out all those holes, have the plaster get all over the place so that it works. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a larger piece, again, pulling my fingers through, and I'm going to go underneath the wings, and now that's going to hold the antenna, that's going to hold them into place. I did not add wings to this one. I added wings to this guy. And you could do that if you wanted to. It's the same process. You would bend the wire around, tape it down, and then put the plaster over it like this. So I'm going to do one more piece on the other side of the antenna, and then I'm going to show you how to do the legs. Kind of the same thing. So if you can see, what I'm doing is just really getting that down in there. I'm going to another piece over there. Because we want to make sure that they stay really strong on there. Just the tape is not going to keep it on, but the plaster is going to keep those metal parts in place, and then you'll be happy with the results. Okay, so now I'm going to move down to the bottom side, and I'll come back and fix this later, finish it. So we're going to do the same sort of thing. This time I'm going to take a longer strip to go right down the middle. My hands are bigger than most of yours, so I can do this holding one, which I probably shouldn't do with you. Okay, I'm going to go carefully in the middle. It's okay if you get some of the plaster on, or the paper mache, whatever you're using, on the wire, because you can just pick it off later. I did that on both of these. I had plaster all over the place, and then when it was dry, I just used my fingernails and I took it back off again. So I didn't want it on there.
Or it could also be part of your bug.
It could be part of the bug. If you like the way it looks, then you could leave it there. I didn't want it on there, so I picked mine off. So if you don't want it on there, but it's on there in the process, don't worry about it. Okay, now I'm taking another smaller piece, and I'm going to really strengthen those legs on here, because we've got to make sure they stay on really, really well. They won't be floppy. Right now, see how they can move? They're not going to do that once we get all the plaster on, which is really great. And that way you can have a great, strong bug that then, I don't know what we're going to do with these bugs. I just like them. They're fun to make.
Outside in our plants.
We could put them, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to say when it starts to get rainy, though, you may want to take them inside, because I don't think the plaster is going to last very long in the wet. Never know. We had thunder and lightning here recently. Oh, that was super fun. In California, we don't get that very much. I heard we're supposed to have some more again soon. Okay, oops. I think we're going to take this piece, and then I think we're going to stop on this for right now, because you'll get the idea that you just keep going over it until you've covered the, oops, I'm going to do one more. Until you've covered the whole thing, and then go back and look again to make sure you've covered the whole thing. That's the thing with paper mache. You've always got to make sure that you've done everything. Double check it just to make sure, and then you could probably be pretty sure that you're done. But make sure you cover everything. And you can always come back and add another layer later after this is all dry. Okay, so I'm going to let this guy dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to show you what I did next, although I did not make him stand very well. Ay, ay, ay. Is he going to stay up? Oh, he really wants to lie down. Once again, no paper towel, no gloves. Okay, so now this guy was done. I painted him this sort of mustardy yellow to start, but now I can add more details if I want to. So I'm pulling out some colors. I've got some silver, some black, and then this was, I made this actually last week. It's a it's yellow and red mixed together. It's not super orangey, but it's kind of orangey. The interesting thing about bugs is you'll find similar patterns. Like a butterfly, each wing is the same. You'll find that on bugs too, that they're symmetrical. That means they have like the same pattern over and over again on each side. So when you get to your bug to paint it, you can just decide what you want to add onto it. Like maybe you want to add some eyes. Maybe you want to add a little mouth. Maybe when you've made this, you want to take a little piece of newspaper before you do all the paper mache and make sort of a curly tongue coming out of it, something like that. You can kind of do whatever you want because it's your bug. And that is making a paper mache bug. I'll see you next time. There you have it. So don't forget, if you enjoy doing this, make a lot of them. Paper's everywhere. And be sure to subscribe to our channel, Alameda Arts. And please send us your photos of anything that you've made, that you've seen on these videos. And be sure to hashtag Alameda Arts Fun on Instagram. Anything else, Miss Hazel?
Oh, if you really want to see what else we're up to, you can check us out on the World Wide Web.
The World Wide Web. That's right. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.